Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm diving into the Pat McGrath Labs Mthrshp Sublime Bronze Ambition Eye Palette. I have had this for quite a while, but haven't used it yet. And so if you like this bronzy look that I've created from it, stay tuned. What's up? So I'm starting with the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. I'm just going to put that all over my face. I've already done my skincare for the day. So like last time, I'm taking the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear and the Pro Filter by Fenty Beauty, and I'm mixing them together, 1 pump each. I'm just taking a damp blending brush. I'm just taking a damp sponge, beauty sponge, and mixing them together on my palette, and then I'm just applying it to my face. Now I'm taking my NARS concealer, the Radiant Creamy Concealer in Light 2 Vanilla. And of course, I'm going to put that under my eye, down my nose, and up to my forehead, on my chin, and on any spots. I'm going to take the same sponge and just blend that out. And now that I've gotten to my under eye, I'm just going to blend that out, and also with whatever remains on the sponge, kind of pull it up onto my lid as well for a little bit of extra coverage. And now I'm going to set it all in with some powder. I'm using the Airbrush Flawless Finish in Fair by Charlotte Tilbury. With my IT Cosmetics brush, I'm just going to swirl it around. And starting on the eyes, I'm going to pat it and work it out. Starting at the eye and kind of bringing it in outward motions. Today I'm going to be using the Iconic London palette, and I'm going to be going into the second lightest color. I'm just taking a fluffy brush, this one's Iconic London, and going in on my cheeks and under my eyebrows, and then pulling it outward with whatever product is left. Now I'm putting it down my nose, Cupid's bow, and then with whatever is left on the brush, putting it up onto my forehead. Now that we're glowing, it's time to warm up our face a little bit with some bronzer. I'm using my favorite by MAC. It's the shade Sculpt, and a fluffy brush from Lancome, and just swirling it in, knocking some off, and then applying. And I also like to put some underneath along my jawline. And I notice on camera you can kind of see a line of makeup in my hair. So I'm just going to go in with the beauty sponge and just kind of blend it up into it, just to kind of fix that harshness. I just want to be sure that it doesn't look like a line. Now that I've fixed that, I'm going to go in with some blush. Today I'm using the MAC shade Into the Pink Extra Dimension blush. It's this really pretty light pinky pink that's quite shimmery, but I thought it'd be pretty for today. So I'm just going to smile to get the apples of my cheeks going. And I do like to use a shimmery blush, because then that kind of blends together the really bright highlight and the matte bronzer that I've used. And it just ties the whole look in together. So as you can see, it's not just a harsh line of highlight anymore. It's blended nicely into the blush that's kind of come down into the bronze. It's just really nice glowy skin. I love it. Now I'm going to go in with my Goof Proof brow pencil in shade 3. Now I'm just going to do a nice light eyebrow. Comb through the brush. Comb through the brow. Add a little bit of color. Comb through again. And I'll be right back. Much better. Now I'm going to take the 24-hour brow setter, also by Benefit, and just run some of that product through my brows. And what I like to do is dab the product all the way across the brow first, and then I go back and brush it through. Now for the eyes, I'm going to use the Pat McGrath palette. This is the Bronze Ambition Mthrshp Sublime palette, and it looks so pretty. I've actually had this for quite a while, but I've been so nervous to open it and use it, but I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to try it out. So here's the palette, and you open it up. Whoa. It's got these gorgeous shimmery colors, gosh. But we have 5 shimmers and 1 matte color, and they all look so pretty. I'm so excited to use this. To properly try these out, I am going to be using an eyeshadow primer. I'm using the Urban Decay. I think this is the original. Yep, the original. Awesome stuff. My favorite. So I'm not going to use very much. I'm just using enough to kind of make the base a little bit tacky. Generally, I don't use primer, but I feel like, it's not going to need it, but I want to make it the fanciest as possible for this Pat McGrath's look. So I'm just patting in the eyeshadow base with a wash of very light color. No idea where it's from, what it is, what it's called. You know how it goes. But it doesn't really matter, just something to pat in the primer and really set so that it's not gonna crease or go anywhere, and just do what it's supposed to do. Yeah, man. Now I'm just gonna take a slightly darker color just to use as a transition shade. I'm gonna pop that into my crease and buff it in. So now that I've got my kind of base layer, I'm going to go into the Pat McGrath Labs palette. So I'm gonna first dip into that matte color and start to build up the crease color that I've got going on. And just make it a little bit more intense, but keeping it more restricted than I kept the original crease color, because the crease color I took quite far up, kind of. It doesn't really look like it. And this I'm going to contain a little bit more. And this is just the Zoeva 231 Luxe Petite Crease brush. Going back in with my original brush with the crease color, I'm just going to work in that Pat McGrath color a little bit into the upper crease color, just to further that really nice blend. Now with my Urban Decay Naked Heat palette brush, the brush that came with it, I'm going to go into the darker color. It is the first shimmer I'm using today, and I'm going to just focus that on my outer corner and build up the intensity. Whoa. 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 That's so pretty. And I am actually going to bring it all the way across. It does pick up quite easily. I barely dip in and then it starts to create like excess powder. If that made any sense at all. This is quite a cool tone color, which is totally gorgeous. I love it. But I am going to go back in with the matte brown, the matte brown, just to warm it up again. So I want to stick with the warmth I was getting. That's better. You know what? I'm just going to be adventurous, and I'm going to take my finger, because I want to see how they feel applied with the fingertip. Anyway, and I'm going to dip into the copper one. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about this. I forgot. So the matte shade is Throwing Shade, and that was the nice warm brown that I've used. And then I put the dark color in the corner is Illicit. And then I took Throwing Shade again and put that over and just blended it up and over to keep the warmth. And now I'm going into Copperized. I'm just going to take my finger, swirl it in, and just dab it. Oh my gosh. Do you see that? Oh. It's so pretty. Oh. What took me so long to use this palette? I'm just going to put that all the way into my corner. You know, just enjoy it all. Whoa. And so I started by just like dabbing, I started by dabbing, and then I started smearing, and now I'm dabbing again for the more intensity of the shimmer. You know, just winging it, man. That's a gorgeous copper color. I'm going to try and use most of these colors. I don't think I'm going to get to this one, but what I'm going to do next is use this gold, and I'm going to pat that in right in the center of my eye. So kind of, you should still see some copper on the outer side before you get to the brown, but you'll definitely see copper on the inside. I don't want to cover it up completely. Ooh, this one's, ooh. Oh. Wow. Can you tell? Wow. Wow. You probably can't tell, but when you layer the gold on top of the copper still shines through, so it's like, oh, it's like fire. So I've just gone back and put a little bit more copper on the outside and like back and forth, just so that you can still see the copper. Because I know you can see the copper on the inner corner, I just wanted it on the outer corner as well, because you know, they're just so pretty. I want you to see them all. And I am going to go back in with the brush I used for the dark Illicit. And the gold color I used was the Gold Rush. I still haven't used the Bronze Struck, and I don't think I'll get to use it today, but we'll see. So anyway, I'm taking the brush that I used for Illicit, and I'm going back in just to deepen that color, because I think I went a little too far at the copper. And I'm actually not dipping into any more color. I'm just using what's left on the brush. Reestablish it. Okay, now I'm going to take that same brush, and I am going to dip back into Illicit, and I'm going to take it into my outer corner underneath. Wow, that's heavy. Okay. Just on the outside. I don't want to bring it in too much. And to help further, ooh, scary. To blend that in a bit, I'm going to go back into Throwing Shade, which is the matte brown color, and I'm going to go on top. So up and then in. I love how pigmented these are. Like, I don't have to pick up much product at all, and it's just like, bam, color. I love it. I think these are gonna last a long time. Like, it doesn't look, besides the dark brown color, it doesn't really look like I've even dipped into any of these others. Maybe that one. But, like, I think this is gonna last so long, because I barely need anything. Like, ooh, wow. Now I'm going into Guilt Trip, which is the lightest color of the palette, and I'm going to place that on my inner corner for a nice blinding highlight. You don't even need to wet the brush to get such an impactful shimmer. and I love it. And with the same brush, now that I'm done with the lightest color, I'm going to go into the copper shimmer color, copperized, and carry that in over to the warm brown. And now to kind of wrap it up, I'm going to go back into the first matte brown color of the Pat McGrath palette, right? Yep, that one. And going back over the crease just to smooth it all out. So now I'm going to go in and do something I don't really do very often, and that is line my waterline with black liner. I just feel like it would help the whole sultry, smoky look. And I'll be right back. Alright, so now I'm going to apply my mascara. I'm using the Climax Mascara by NARS. So I've just done the first eye with mascara, and I found that there's some fallout, so I'm just going to wipe it away with my powder brush. And do the other eye. So I've just applied mascara, and while I'm waiting for my mascara to dry, I'm going to do my lips. So to match this look, I want a nice warm nudie color for my lips, and so I'm going to be taking MAC lip liner in Cork and my favorite lipstick at Jamie Genevieve. And I know I used this last time, but it is just such a nice warm toned nude color that I think it would match this eye really, really well without being too prominent and taking away from it. So here I am with lipstick and liner, and what I don't think I mentioned last time is that because the liner is so much darker than the lipstick, a trick in blending that is taking your finger and just dabbing it around the line to kind of move the lipstick into the liner to blend it and make a nice transition. And so you just dab. It really just really nicely softens it up. Alright, I'm back, and this is the final look. Originally, I was gonna use false lashes, but because I liked the colors so much, I didn't want to have the lashes cover them up. So instead, I just built up the mascara, and I think it looks gorgeous as is. I am so in love with these colors. I think that they're gorgeous. They blended into each other really nicely without getting messy or dirty. And I can't believe it's taking me this long to get into the palette, and now that I have, it's something I will use a lot more, and I'm so excited. I think it looks bronzy and sultry without being too dark and too heavy for me, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. That's a wrap.